Good morning, Tor. Hello, James, and hello, Boone.
Hi.
Morning.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Yes.
Good. Today's topic is a little bit miscellaneous topics. So the first is that there's a topic that was left over that we didn't solve, but I still don't have a solution. But it was brought up in two meetings ahead before. I wish to write it today in paper, the problem, so that we can talk about it. And the other is Sunil helped me to produce the concept for attestation project, which we can use to produce the component list and start developing. Just for Tor to be aware of what's going on, we have three things going on at the moment. So the priority right now is to develop activity support. That is to be able to show previous smart contract events on the user interface, as well as paving the way for the future to store magic link in the activities. And the magic link being the special form attestation. And the second priority is to produce Alice send money to Bob complete this flow in Alpha Wallet. This is split into two parts. Project number one is Bob project, where we address the problem of what I call 2 websites, 3 cards. And second is to include Alice, which would introduce magic link for Alice. This is how it goes. I will start with I think, and the third thing going on is the previously we agreed to start, that is secret sharing key management. However, we cannot commit James, Brown and Boone into this project. So it's still pending the contract between us and the external developers to work with you, Tor, on this. So the external developer is going to deliver most of the peripheral thing and mobile thing, and where you can work on the Pesto and SS, integrating that into a component for Node users, for Node people. Yeah. So let me do this in writing, so it's more clear. Okay. So share screen. Today's agenda. The third is okay. So background, first project, first activity. Enter for magic links. So, Tor, do you understand what magic link is?
I'm not super familiar exactly how that works. I mean, the term has been thrown around a bit lately. So if you can give like a clear clarification of exactly what is entitled with a magic link.
Okay.
That would be great.
Check. Magic link. Attestation. We'll put it into the topic, okay? Maybe you can do this first. Actually, this one is that doesn't matter which one goes first. Project 2 is attestation Bob side. Project 3 is SSS. Project 1 goes to notification instant. Project 2 goes to attestation Alice side. Okay, so that's the skeleton. That's the situation we have. So let's start. Okay, maybe let's do this first. Okay, because James Sangali says that he's going to join midway, and I predict that he's least interested in the topic of naming check and magic link. So let's go through this first. So when he comes, he can already start with the things that he's already interested in. The way I usually use these three words is the following. But okay, first I explain how I usually use it, and then we talk about how should we call these things. Okay. Check, attestation, assigned message where the data object signed info is tested by the signer. Okay, so basically it means it looks like attestation is everything that once it's signed, it's attestation. But I really mean that the data object is attested to. So, for example, you know that in the SSL certificate, the most important thing being attested to is the subject, and nothing but the subject. So, so let's say SSL certificate, only the subject is attested to. For example, we have cn equals www.alphawallet.com. This is this is certificate. This is a signed info in example certificate. That's and then we have O equals to alpha wallet PTY LTD. Okay, and we have OU equals to mobile app, and we have email equals to support@alphawallet.com, right? This would be the typical data object inside a SSL certificate, right? And this look familiar to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and observe that subject is cn equals to www.alphawallet.com. Let's say this. So observe that the certificate issuer only attests to the CN, which is the domain name here. The other information, like the company name being Alpha Wallet, the country being AU, the state being NSW, and the locality being Sydney, all these information are merely acknowledged and not attested. For example, the certificate issuer will not check the company registration paper to say if the company is actually Alpha Wallet Pty Ltd. It also doesn't even verify if the email address has any recipient there. Is there anyone reading the email? It also doesn't check if you actually live in Sydney, right? Sorry, I need to grab water. Yeah, I'm back here. So the certificate issuer, however, will check if you actually own the domain name www.alphawallet.com, either by setting up a check a CNAME or tax record, or ask you to receive an email as a domain administrator, or ask you to put a special file under the HTTP root, right? So in the certificate, assessor certificate case, only the CN is attested. Everything else is merely part of it that is signed together. Well, what we refer here attestation is that a data object being like the signer acknowledges that he knows that the data object represents truth of a certain level. For example, if it's a FIFA ticket, then this ticket is on which day at which venue, and then it's valid for which level, for how many people. All of them are being tested to. So does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's how I usually use the word attestation. And then also certificate is on identity. Attestation is not. Attestation merely attests to something. That attests to something doesn't have to be an identity. For example, a FIFA ticket as attestation is attesting to is a token. It's not an attestation to an identity. Certificate is usually an identity, but this is just usually. And this is the first word, attestation. And then we have check. Check is an attestation, is a special that attests to a promise to pay, evident by having amount filled in it, and probably okay. So when I use the word check, I mean a special attestation that attests to a promise to pay. The special thing about it is that it has an amount in it. And once it is redeemed, it's no longer valid. And magic link is an attestation encoded in URL. If it is maybe I should write it this way. Okay. Magic link. Okay. Okay, check is this, also indented. Okay, magic link is attestation encoding URL. Yeah. I guess that's it. Yeah. So this is the way I usually call it. And I can write my definition somewhere, but what I'm afraid is that this will happen, that people will see the word and believe that it means something, and they will insist on it means that. Then it's no longer relevant how you defined it in the first place. So to avoid that situation, the way these things are named must match the common sense. So, for example, when I say check is a special attestation, I think it's counterintuitive, which is bad, because then people will walk away and believing our check is not attestation, which means we probably should make the attestation definition smaller. That doesn't include check. I don't know, I'm just opening this conversation up. Do you see these terms make sense to you? Or do you think that they better be called differently for adoption?
I find the magic link term a bit counterintuitive, since I would normally consider a link to basically be a reference to somewhere else, and I would consider the magic to mean that it has some sort of like extra functionality rather than just pointing. Maybe, but I'm not sure if it makes sense to change these terms, but I would more call it a magic URL instead of link. I mean, I know a link is generally a URL, but it has sort of a different semantic meaning than a URL in itself.
Magic link is also used in a few products like Slack, where you can click on a link. They email you a link, you click on the link to log in.
Just to stay, just for me to stay a bit further from the word magic link, I didn't invent the use like this. It's basically, I use the word attestation and check a lot, and Victor come up with magic link. Every time he say magic link, it's almost the same time when I see attestation. So I decided that, okay, maybe this is his way to call it encoded attestation. Then it ends up like this. So, yeah, tell me, how would you call it?
I'm afraid of making any sudden definitions, but like based on namings, because I know that it often has a tendency to backfire. Naming is hard, but I would more say it's a magic URL, since it's a URL with an extra meaning rather than just being a URL. But I don't know, what do the rest of you guys think?
So the reason it's called magic in the first place is because the first magic links we have has a promise to pay, which you click, you get one more token. So it works like magic. Oh, now I have one more token in my wallet. It's not just the page. That's how Victor come to the point, to the term, not me. So if I say magic link, change it to is a check encoded in URL. That would make more sense. Then we simply stop calling the magic link that carries a normal attestation like a FIFA ticket a magic link. We just don't call them that. We only call magic redeeming, that one that allows you to redeem a FIFA token, the magic link.
I guess it depends a lot on what kind of assumptions people have with the word magic in such a context. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad name either, because I mean, as you mentioned, it will generally be used as a link, so I guess it makes sense to abstract away the fact that it's actually a URL that's encodes an attestation. But yeah.
Let's say Bob acquires a attestation on his email address identifier. That he does it by visiting a tester's website and submitting a certificate signing request. And as a result of that website, of applying for this attestation, the website gives him a special link that by clicking this link, he leaves the browser and enters the wallet, where he gets to save his email address attestation. Is that link a magic link? Just by intuition. Or is it just a deep link?
So say he clicks on something in the browser that links that contains an attestation that then carries into his wallet.
Okay, let me show you the picture. Let me save this picture. Save it, and then open it on desktop. And how do I stop share? Okay, stop sharing, and sharing the picture. Okay, so this is the flowchart made based on the TokenScript meeting 2 weeks ago. Sunil made this one. So let's say Bob requests emails. Can you see my mouse cursor?
Yeah.
Okay, so this Bob requests attestation for a specific email. The email attestation server sends the email code to Bob. Bob verifies that code, which is done on the website. And upon verifying that code, the website says provide a download link. And if you click that download link, this is the point where he didn't draw this. Upon verifying the code, the website provides a download link. And hit that link, the user leaves that browser and enters the wallet where he sees a attestation that he can choose to save into his wallet. And is that a link a magic link?
Yeah, I would say so, right?
In that case, we are using definition this.
Yeah.
In that case, we're using definition.
This, yeah, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, a good idea. A is attestation encoded in URL. B is a check encoded in the URL. Apparently, B is a subset of A.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's one point. And the other point being that when I see the check is a special attestation that has a promise to pay or a deal, does it make sense? Would people say, actually, this is counterintuitive? Why would a check be an attestation? Then we probably should define it differently so people feel easy.
I do think you're right that some people might find it a bit counterintuitive that a check is an attestation, at least without having the whole explanation as you gave here. I mean, it makes very much sense that you can write a check as an attestation. But I think conceptually, people might have a different view of what an attestation is and what a check is. I think like basically the important aspect of this attestation is to ensure that it's not necessarily an attestation, as you also mentioned earlier, that it's not necessarily an attestation to an identity or a location or something like that.
Okay, I will change this and let's see if this is better, okay? So check a signed message that contains a promise from the signer. Either a promise to pay or promise to deliver with conditions. Is that better?
I would say it's more intuitive, but then again, I'm probably not the the typical user. It's
I'm
always
happy to
hard.
go with this one. What do you
Yeah.
think, Boone and James?
Sounds better.
Sounds better. Then we need to change the definition of magic link. Magic link is a check or attestation encoded in a URL. That would be the new version of a magic link.
Yeah, because don't we intend to expand the whole magic link concept so that it actually embraces the forthcoming attestation format?
Okay, so here, magic link is an encoding method to encode check on attestation. Therefore, magic link is not the competing concept with the other two. Better? Master Brown?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, this version seems to be better than the previous one. So let's just delete it. So this is what I'm going to write in the meeting minute, okay? If you want to object now in the next TokenScript meeting, but not too late. Okay, next one is the component list. So let's switch sharing, switch the object that we are sharing and into this one, this one. Am I sharing it? Did I share anything?
Not yet. No.
This is confusing. Yeah, sharing. Okay, all good. So this is the flowchart that Sunil made based on our previous conversation, and it shows the components we need to make. So look, sorry, we can get the component list out from this. So let's look at this component list. List number one is the capacity, the signing request card. Signing request card is needed to create a signed message from Bob to be delivered to the tester to sign attestation. That is a card. So it's a signing request card. And the second card we need is attestation token card, which is the card is used for if when you click a magic link that delivers the attestation Bob asked for himself, Bob opens that attestation, and mobile phone checks the magic link, make sure that the public key encoded magic link matches what Bob has, and allow Bob to save that attestation. In this case, we have attestation token card, and this card is just like a token card, except that it has one button that is saved, where the normal token card have a few buttons that are the actions, right? And then the other thing we need is when we design around Bob, we are going to complete Bob's story without touching Alice. The way we do it is we allow Bob to get an attestation, which can be later used with Alice, but we don't make it used for Alice because we so Bob gets an email attestation, but how does he use it? So he uses it to log into a website. Let's say we modify alphawallet.com to allow the users to participate by participate like a forum or something by logging in with attestation. It's equivalent of logging with email, except that you don't have to check the verification code in the email. So that would allow us to do a small project around Bob without involving Alice. And this complete project is that the Bob ask for attestation, get an attestation, and use attestation, just to log in, just one thing. And that would involve another card, which is attestation login card. Actually, it's a proof card. The card allows the user to prove that he has his email address and the private key corresponding to the email address attestation to the website. And that's 3 cards we need. We need 2 websites, cards, websites, and Alpha Wallet. Okay. Okay. Stop sharing and share another one. Okay. This part is the part I just typed. So we need okay. For the first project, Bob, we need these cards, signing request card, which is used to produce signed message to be submitted to the tester's website. Attestation token card, which is the card that pops up if you click the magic link that delivers the Bob's attestation to Bob. And you have attestation proof card or login card, which pops up if you click login with email button on the website. And we need 2 websites. One is the tester website, which is http attestation.id. I happen to own this domain, that accepts the signing request and gives the user the attestation in the magic link. Then we have alphawallet.com website, which is just a normal website that allows email address login. And we also need a TokenScript for email attestation with its own attestation syntax, similar to a token card, similar to a token attestation. Similar to a token TokenScript. And that's what we need for the first project. Does this make sense? How do you think?
I didn't catch it. What's email attestation?
Email attestation is a signed message by the tester that the user owns the email address.
Oh, that line, it means to write the TokenScript file for that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
The TokenScript file for email attestation. Yeah. So far, so good?
The apps will also have to be updated to support this?
Yes, it needs to support the new syntax associated with the email address, email attestation. Most importantly, the email attestation token script will define a new key, as our protocol requires a key to go with attestation. And our wallet must be able to create a new key as required by the token script.
And also the indirection in line 47 to offer the attestation.
Oh yes, to do a zero knowledge proof or to do a, sign the challenge response or whatever to the website.
Yes.
Yes, these are the things that need to be supported. And the second project, Alice, where Alice is involved. So cards, check creation card, So this is what Tomac suggests, that if you create check, it's going to be a activity item. And therefore it has an activity item view and activity view as well. And that activity view is different than the check creation card, because the activity view is read-only and check creation card actually has something interactions. And it might have actions too. Cancel the check. Okay. And then we have an okay, we need a redeem card. And okay, the smart contract, what kind of data the smart contract needs to be able to read is clearly in the protocol description. Although it's not designed as a data structure, but what needs to be there is clearly in the protocol description. Check protocol. Okay, and we don't need any website for the second project. Make sense? In
line 66, the check appears as an activity. Is it because it generates an event?
No, it's because at this stage, activity is one-to-one corresponding to Ethereum events. But once we introduce attestation, activity can be simply creation of the attestation, redeeming of the attestation, or like a saving the attestation.
So when Alice creates a check, where is it stored so that her copy of the mobile app can show it as an activity?
Well, Alpha Wallet has to be improved to store that check.
But are you talking about storing it locally? Because I'm looking at how she can cancel the check. Does it mean she can't cancel the check from another device?
No, she cannot cancel the check from another device.
Okay.
Yeah, but probably we won't even allow him to cancel it at all. Until a few months later, maybe. Okay. Because this project is I'm not sure if it's going to attract some user immediately. It's probably more useful as creating the capacity for Alpha Wallet to produce attestation, so that we can solve many other customer problems, like having the privilege of getting a hotel room half price based on your attestation.
Got it.
Or having the capacity to participate SEO in the pre-sale stage by having the attestation.
Just one thought. So some or maybe all of these attestations and check, they are stored just locally, but because of how phone providers, they usually have a 1 or 2 year cycle where they encourage people to upgrade, change their phones. Does it become a problem if someone upgrades your phone every year or every 2 years?
Oh, so
as we move on, maybe not now. Yes.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that is part of the SSS project. So ideally, attestations are shared with the keys together in SSS, so that if you recover, you can recover all of them. But this SSS will not So first, attestation is just part of the secret that is being shared in the key management. Second, if your TokenScript says that the key to the attestation is not managed, it's unmanaged, then it doesn't go into the SSS. Because for email attestation or identity-related attestation, it's better not to back the key up, but rather instead reclaim them separately, create a new key, create a new attestation once you change the mobile phone. And the reason being that to prevent a spamming attack. But for checks, they are supposed to be backed up. So some of the attestations are supposed to be backed up, some of them are not.
Okay, okay.
So it depends on TokenScript description. Victor actually asked this question before. Let me see if I can find his I find the message that I posted to him. Okay, so Boone asked, is attestation attestations backed up? Some are, checks are, sorry, attestations to FIFA ticket are, some are not. Email identifier attestation is not. Reason I think that's that's the conclusion of this meeting. And Sangali's problem I have no solution, so I don't know if it helps. So does this make sense to you? We'll have a quick look.
I remember that conversation, but how does it?
It
How is it
explains
related?
that even with SSS, some attestations are not backed up.
Oh, right. Okay.
And the reason for some attestations, their keys not backed up. This is to answer why is there even an option of whether or not this should be backed up in TokenScript. Why don't you just back them up?
Okay.
Yeah. And finally, 1 minute left. Sangali last time raised the problem that he has found 2 real-world cases where smart contract token, where the token holding contract is returned by another smart contract. Token holding contract's address is returned by another contract. Therefore, you cannot declare them in TokenScript statically in advance. And he argues that maybe we should allow, if we declare a contract to be the token contract, we should automatically assume any contract returned by that contract also a legit contract to receive users' transactions, right? And then I countered with an attack scenario that somebody can make a fake or trivial TokenScript that serves trivial purpose, like CryptoKitty token or Crypto Dragon token, which doesn't have much value. and then it returns a contract address that is actually the address of a very valuable token holding contract. Therefore, when the user thinks that he's buying some trivial token, he actually spends all his dice. And that attack is independent of the important token contract like DAI. Does it make sense so far? The attack scenario that I described?
Yes.
And that I have no solution. And Sangali came to me today again, and I still don't have solution. So I just have to throw this question out there and hope that we can find some solution next time. So now that the time is up. If you still have questions, you're welcome to ask. Otherwise, you can leave or have a beer or something. Yeah. That's all today's agenda.
Thanks. I have a question. Why, when you're talking about backup of attestations, are you meaning the attestation itself, or the potentially like the key that might be linked to in the attestation?
I think together.
Okay.
Many attestations don't have a key. For example, checks never.
Yeah. Well, not all of them. I mean, some, but I mean, some might attest that the owner of this public key has, you know, this email address or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just not. I'm not. So my question is, I can't see that there's any like specific confidentiality part of such an attestation. I mean, couldn't you just use any old backup server for this?
If attestation is about something like the printer or something, it doesn't matter, right? For example, you have a token that allows you to access your printer or your car. You can make as many backups as you like, as long as one of them can open your car. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But there is a requirement that I learned from working in the bank, that if the attestation attests to identity, then it must not be backed up. So this is the same idea used, for example, in Estonia e-residency card, where you can have the key in the card, but you can never back it up. Because if you can, it's no longer attestation to identity. Identity is not replicable, so attestation to it is not replicable either.
Okay, but I'm not sure I'm completely following the case. I mean, because usually when we I mean, of course, it might actually be an actual identity, but I mean, I guess normally when we talk about identity in this setting, right, we're talking about a key, right, a blockchain identity that's defined by a public address, right? I mean, of course, we can also talk about an actual identity, but wouldn't like to attest that you have this and this identity, wouldn't that probably be linked to the person who has the secret key to this public key? Is this and this person? In that case, I mean, the secret key would not be part of the attestation, only the public key. Am I missing something?
We seem to be talking past each other.
Okay.
We're still talking about the. I might have misunderstood you in the first place.
Okay. I mean, my question was in relation to backup of attestations. Asking why.
Okay. So I see. What you mean here is that as long as you prevent the key related to individual identity being backed up, the attestation itself doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. For some keys, not backed up.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Great. Yeah. I just wanted to.
So then we are on the same page.
Yeah. Great. I have one more question. It's about this. It's about the pesto secret sharing, because I've been working a bit on it. At least the server side. And so I mean, at some point we should figure out. I know that this is going to be handled by someone else. but the issue of actually integrating this into a client, in the sense that, I mean, the server is written in Java, and I mean, we have a client implementation in Java as well. So that actually works on Android because we have some external partners who needed to use Pesto on Android. So I mean, that should be a very easy porting solution. And I think
we'll just do it, right?
Sorry?
So we may as well just do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. The issue is more like it's more if we want a general solution and it's something that supports iOS, because the libraries needed to do this are not really as plentiful on iOS as they are on Android.
I see. My view is this: like, it's totally okay if we do this only for Android, because my requirement that TokenScript feature has to be on both Android and iOS is for the reason that if a website uses TokenScript, we don't want to tell the users that if you use Android or iOS, you can use this web service, and if you don't, you cannot use this token or web service. But backup is different. Backup key management has nothing to do with using TokenScript on the web or even having a token in the wallet. Therefore, we can just implement it on one end and implement it on the next platform next year.
Great. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page about this. Because
in that case, we should reduce this project to 2 projects: one for Android, one for iOS, and we just do the Android side, right?
Yeah.
That's totally reasonable. Let's have a separate discussion of
great.
the work needed to be done, and see if we still need someone, or we can just allocate them to you or James Brown.
Yeah. About the Android, I can probably.
If I take James Brown's time, everybody scold at me. So
that's fine. I'm just going to continue on this, and then at some point I will, I mean, the initial implementation is I'm going to try to see if we can get things to work just without 2-factor first. Then I'm basically going to just send you Java files to run some server so I can run it, and basically some Java code that should basically plug and play on Android. And then we can do it from there. I think that's the best way to go about it.
That's very nice. I think we should go with what you said. We might
Sounds good.
Developer for some tasks, because we're always short on developer. But we probably should do that.
Maybe because basically for this Pesto project we have here, we also need to develop some support for second factor. So I might be able to get this done for free, basically. So I'm like holding out a bit to see what happens with this. But basically, any case, as soon as we can get something that just works with password, and that's basically plug and play under it, I think we have something nice to start with, and then we can add the features later on.
That's very good news, Tor. That's very good news. Thank you very much. I should get another meeting between you and James, and then we look at the code and we do a lower than this level discussion.
I'll let you know once I still need to do quite a bit to get the whole thing to work, but still, I mean, it's a lot of, it requires a lot of changes from what we had, and a lot of additions with all this threshold stuff. So I'm not done yet. Unfortunately, I'm not able to spend my whole time on it because I mean, we also have some other things here. So I'll just let you know. I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page and give you an update on what's happening with this.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to paste what I wrote here into the forum. Then we have everything discussed here, right?
Yep.
Anyone has anything? Okay, so the meeting should be. Oh, sorry. It should be done already. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.